In Syria, the coalition and our partners on the ground, the Syrian Democratic Forces, are making steady progress. This week's liberation of the Dashish area along the Iraq-Syria border is an important milestone. But military success against ISIS requires continued international cooperation to promote regional security and stability and identify governance, security, and economic solutions that will ensure the lasting defeat of ISIS. As I've mentioned previously, consolidation of our military gains is perhaps the most important and oftentimes most difficult aspect of our campaign. It is the phase of the campaign that we are quickly moving toward now. There is certainly more fighting to do, but I am confident our partners and the coalition will prevail in this. Ultimately, we must set the conditions for an appropriate political solution as specified by the United Nations Security Council Resolution 2254 and a UN-led political process. As the defeat of ISIS in Syria becomes more imminent, the other long-standing underlying issues that have led to Syria's instability are coming back to prominence. Russia's support and protection has allowed the Syrian regime to escape full accountability for their use of chemical weapons and the horrendous violence against their own people, and has exacerbated the human suffering for hundreds of thousands in the western part of the country in particular. We do continue our communication and deconfliction with Russian Federation commanders to ensure safety of our forces and compliance with our U.S. international obligations. This continues to be a largely professional military exchange. Iran's continued malign presence in pursuit of their unilateral objectives threaten not only Syria, but Syria's neighbors, and prolongs resolution of the conflict. To ensure long-term stability, security, and effective governance for the people of northeast Syria, we recently began conducting independent coordinated patrols with our NATO ally Turkey near Manbij to implement a diplomatically agreed arrangement that addresses our mutual security interests. As part of the diplomatic roadmap, we will soon begin the necessary training to conduct joint combined patrols along portions of the demarcation line in this extremely complex environment. Let me close today by acknowledging the sacrifices that not only our American forces have made in these theaters, but also those of our coalition partners, and particularly the Afghan and Iraqi security forces and our partners in northeast Syria. We don't for a minute minimize the continued risk and danger that all of our forces are exposed to as we pursue our common objectives. Specifically this morning, our thoughts go out to the 4 American service members and their families and units who lost their lives in the last week in the Centcom AOR, 2 of them from combat action. I understand that there are many areas of interest in this very dynamic and complex region that I cannot cover in a short statement such as this. So at this point, I'll be happy to answer